The EightSleep Pod Pro is an amazing sleep fitness system. It's going to cool or warm your bed on demand. It's going to track all your sleep vitals and generally help to improve your sleep fitness. But is it worth spending your money on? In this video, I'm going to help you answer that question. Hey guys, Chris Young here from Homekitgeek, the channel where we bring you new smart home content every single week, looking at Apple ecosystem, Amazon, Google, and whatever else I find interesting. If you guys find that interesting, do me a favor, consider subscribing and ringing that bell to be notified when new videos are posted. So first things first, I want to say thank you to EightSleep for providing me a Pod Pro for review purposes. I need you guys to know where this stuff comes from, just in case you think it does affect my opinion. So the first thing I want to talk about is why sleep. Recently, I was watching a video with the CEO of Oura Ring, and he put it best. If I could give you a pill, and that pill would improve your memory, improve your mood, it would help you recover faster, go to the gym more often, grow muscle mass, lose weight, improve your, stop you from getting sick, all of those things. Would you take that pill? Of course you would, right? Yeah, definitely. We all would. Sleep is that magic pill, and we just don't get enough of it. So let's talk about what EightSleep is. To say that EightSleep is a mattress company is like saying that Tesla is a car company. It is so much more than that. They like to describe themselves as a sleep fitness company, and I think that's a fair assessment. So what are the components of the Pod Pro? Number one, you're going to get the mattress. This is available in different sizes. Number two, shown here is the Pod Pro, the control, the hub unit. And this unit itself is the thing that is collecting all of your data, connecting to Wi-Fi, as well as it's got the pump system in it to push water, heated or cooled water, for the thermoregulation piece, which we're going to talk more about. Number three is the cover that goes over top of the mattress. This is, I believe it's a plioelectric, is how you say that word. Essentially what it is a mattress cover that goes over top of the mattress, filled with sensors and what feels to be probably some rubber tubes for having the water go throughout the mattress. So essentially, this is what you're going to lie on that's going to do all the magic here of cooling your bed, warming your bed, and grabbing all of the stats that they're grabbing. And there's a bunch of those, including your heart rate variability, your heart rate, when you're looking at that data to figure out your breathing rate, respiratory rate, all of that stuff. It's a pretty comprehensive solution for tracking your sleep. Next, we have the app, and the app is really, that's your doorway into all this data that they're going to give you information on. And the last, which I think is honestly the most important, is the machine learning. So the machine learning bit of the Pod Pro is really interesting, and honestly, they have only scratched the surface. First place you're going to see that machine learning is in the setup of the device. If you choose to turn on the smart sleep function, they're going to ask you a series of questions, and based on that questionnaire, they're going to put you in a bucket with all their other users, all anonymized, and let you know who your cohorts are. So your cohorts are really, these are people in your age group, in your biological sex, and you've given them some preferences, and they'll let you know, hey, people who are a 40 to 45-year-old male who prefer it a little bit cold, they sleep hot, they like and fall asleep fastest like this, and they're going to actually give you that data, which is pretty amazing if you think about it. So we are crowdsourcing how people who are like you are going to be able to sleep better, and based on that data, make predictions about how you're going to sleep with the different settings. What do I think about the EightSleep after having spent more than a month with this? Honestly, I really am enjoying the product. There are some great things about it, which we'll get into. But first, let's deal with the big question. Is this for you right now? That's a really tricky question in that, honestly, is the first thing you're going to do in improving your sleep? No, it's probably not. This is not an inexpensive product to add to your smart home. It's in about the $4,000 US range to get in the Pod Pro version, which I looked at. And are there other things you could do much less expensive to start improving your sleep? Absolutely there are. You could just go to bed, set an alarm, wake up at the same time. Just the act of doing that is going to make a big difference to your sleep, right? You can do other things. You look at melatonin. You can exercise every day. That's going to improve your sleep. There are all these tricks, but these are stacks that add up, and you get to a certain point where if you want to really push that journey and not just improve your sleep, but optimize it, that's where EightSleep is really going to come in. Right? There are things you can do, like I said, diet, exercise, all those things, supplements, take some magnesium, all those things are great, but how is that going to help you at night if you sleep hot and you start sweating? How is that going to sleep you at night if you sleep cold, right, and you're constantly shivering, you're waking up? Right? That's where EightSleep is going to do an amazing job for you. They're going to actively monitor the temperature of the bed and then make these changes throughout the night and really help you to stay asleep. That's amazing. So in the chart on the screen right now, this is not from my EightSleep system. This is from my Aura Ring. And I want to show you the effects of what EightSleep has done, as well as these other changes. In the last 3 months, I have added time to my total sleep. I have improved my sleep quality. I have improved my deep sleep, which is really where your physical body gets better. I have improved my REM sleep, which is where your mind and your memories, all that, your creativity, all that gets better. So really, EightSleep, amazing for all those things. It has definitely helped me in my sleep fitness journey push past where I was. From a smart home standpoint, I've already got other things going, and so I really haven't done much integration from controlling the EightSleep remotely. Really what I have done is I've set up my schedules, and based on the schedules for my weekdays and weekends, I have a slightly different schedule. The bed automatically cools itself, warms itself, whatever it is. I also expect that for people who are perhaps don't have as many people in the house as I do, this could easily be a big power saver in that you're heating or cooling your bed instead of heating or cooling the entire house, which I think you would agree is probably an easier way to deal with the heating cooling issue. So the other thing I want to point out is that they're sitting on all this data, collecting all this data. They've got demographic information from all of us, all the users, which means we're going to be able to start seeing some amazing things coming from this pool of data eventually. Right? What if I have a marathon or I have a really hard workout and I want to optimize for deep sleep? Perhaps the thermal regulation settings for cold give me more deep sleep. Maybe if I've got a test coming up and I've been studying hard and I want to maximize my memory, I want to maximize my retention of the data I'm learning, maybe I can optimize and we can start to figure out how to actively manage our sleep to optimize for REM sleep, to improve our memory. We've just scratched the surface of what's possible in biohacking our biology with devices like EightSleep, and that, I think, is amazing. Now, what do I not love about the bed? There are definitely a couple things. This bed is opinionated and judgy. And one thing I want to point out about this, right? This is not necessarily a problem with the company. I think this is them being opinionated and they're showing us where the science goes. But it's still annoying. On the screen right now, I am showing you what happened on Thanksgiving weekend. So on Thanksgiving weekend, I made a conscious choice to stay up late. I made a conscious choice to finish binge watching Ted Lasso. I made a conscious choice to sleep in. All of those things were planned on my part. Unfortunately, the bed looked at that and said, hey, I'm going to bed past my bedtime, right? Not good. That's going to affect me. I am waking up far past where I should have. And because I slept in bed, just kind of hung out and enjoyed a lazy Sunday morning, all of those things really affected my sleep score, not just for that particular night, but because of the way that they're using their averages, they affected it for the entire week. So it took me 3-4 days to be able to get back to where I got my 100% again and really get my sleep back in order. So even though the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all my goals were met for my personal goals, I was up on time, I got the kids to school, I worked, all that stuff was great, the bed was still judging me. So that's something that I think they kind of need to work out, is to allow us to take particular days when you plan this and take that out of the measurement cycle, out of your averages, right? I can see this also going wrong is what happens if you get sick and you're in bed for 24 hours, right? You're just lying there. What happens if you have jet lag, right? All those kinds of things are really going to affect your scores. And honestly, that big green 100%, that's something that feels good to get. So, yeah. So one of the other disappointments in the EightSleep system for me personally is I'm a bit of a data nerd and I want to be able to munch through the data. I want to look through the data, through my data, see what's going on. And right now I can't do that with the EightSleep. I did reach out to the management team on Twitter and they have replied that this is a roadmap item and they are committed to allowing users like me who want access to that data an API in the future. It's just not there right now. So again, buyer beware. It may never be there. If that's one of your requirements, you might want to look at some other product that's going to fill that need for you.
So the EightSleep Pod Pro is, yes, it's a mattress, but that's like saying a Tesla's just a car. This is a sleep fitness system, and really the major function of it is a thermal regulation, which means that it's actively going to cool or warm the bed in a dual zone configuration from anywhere from 55 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So essentially, if you're a really hot sleeper or a cool sleeper, this is really going to make sure that you're tracking and able to actively adjust it to be more comfortable so that you're not tossing and turning, night sweats, all that. It's got sleep tracking built in, including heart rate variability monitoring, a gentle rise technology, which means it's going to be able to actively kind of vibrate in the morning, comfort blend layer, and Apple HealthKit integration. Now, one thing about the HealthKit integration, which I like to point out, is that it is only writing the sleep data. It's not writing the heart rate variability or temperature or any of the other things that it's actively tracking in the app. So as far as things I'd like to see in the future, I would love to see more of that data that the bed is actually reading getting pushed out into Apple HealthKit. So let's take a look at the setup. So the EightSleep Pod Pro system is going to come in a couple of different boxes. You're going to get the mattress in one, and this is just the mattress, no active components. It is air sealed, vacuum sealed, and as you can see here, it takes a while to set up. This really took me probably close to 45 minutes, an hour to really get it put into the bed, and it was not easy to do by myself. So once you get the mattress on and all that's good, you're going to get the second box, which is going to include the active grid as well as the Pod Pro hub, which is kind of the mattress, the comfort setting that does all the thermal regulation, sensors, all that sits on top of the mattress, as well as the hub, which you can see here, which is the piece that's going to pump water as well as connect to Wi-Fi, all that good stuff. So I do want to point out here that there was a bit of a snafu in that the power cable was broken when I got it. So bad things happen. That happens with every company, but I really appreciate the fact that EightSleep stepped up and I had one within a couple of days. So as you can see in the background here, the active grid hub connector, that's what's going to connect the active grid to the hub itself. And that's where all the water is going to pump through and really help with that thermal regulation piece, which is just kind of amazing. Again, as far as steps go, this was another 45 minutes to an hour. So realize you're probably going to want to get someone else to help you with this if you can. So the last step here is really getting the hub connected, connecting the USB sensor and connecting the hub grid, active grid connector into the hub itself, right? So once that's all done, we can get into actually setting it up and turning it on and all that good stuff. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Once we've got the mattress in, we've got the mattress set up, you acknowledge that the active grid is set up and zipped securely. We're good. You notice the water, the water connector. We're going to connect that in. Again, the app takes you through everything you're going to need as far as understanding exactly what's going on. Once you got those two steps done, we go into the connection itself. So we're going to connect to that. iOS 14 new security is going to say, hey, do we want us to let this find what's on our Wi-Fi? Of course, we say yes. We put in the username and password, which I've edited out of the video. And after that, we're going to make sure that we can connect properly. And again, in my case, because of where I have it, I had a bit of trouble connecting to the right SSID. But again, I blame that completely on my setup and choice of placement. Having a good Wi-Fi network is always going to make things better. So now that we've got that set up, I am the first user on here. So I'm going to say, hey, where am I sleeping? Which side am I on? Left, right, or am I all over the bed? In my case, I'm going to be on the left. And then I'll invite my partner later. So at this point, we're going to go to the next step, which is priming. So what exactly is priming? This is getting the water that is responsible for the thermal regulation, the heating and cooling. We're going to push it through the active grid and get all the air out. So when you're doing that, there may be some noises. That's totally normal. And in fact, they do let you know that that's normal. It's not going to be something that you're going to hear at night. In fact, at night, I've got a little bit of ambient noise happening. But I honestly have not heard the pump happening at all in the week and a half that I've been using my EightSleep Pro. So the priming, I'm not really going to go into detail on. You just basically hit the button and let it go. And then you are going to have to come back afterwards and do a second priming, which is just something to be aware of. I'm not even going to show it in the video. It's really straightforward. So the next thing in the guided setup is really to set up your smart temp. So absolutely you could control the 8Sleep Pod Pro manually, but why would you when they've got all this intelligence built into it? So essentially you're going to go into your settings, and you're going to have to fill out a little bit of a questionnaire. And that questionnaire includes things like your gender, your birth date, so how old are you, all those kinds of things. And that's going to create a demographic profile on you. Then we are asked some additional questions like, hey, am I a really cold sleeper, or am I a really hot sleeper? Do I suffer from night sweats? All that kind of stuff. And based on that, they're going to be able to look at all the anonymized data they've got from the rest of their users and make some recommendations to us. So for men who are about 45 who sleep hot, they are suggesting that the best results they're seeing across their user base is a -6 to go to bed for the initial. After that, their sleep is going to bump up to -1 when you're actually asleep, and then raise up to a +1 to kind of gently raise the heat, which kind of feels like if you've ever slept in a tent, when it gets hot in the morning, that's what it kind of feels like. It's actually really cool. Again, we put in our like when do we want to go to bed, as well as when do we want to wake up, and that data is going to be used to be able to really look at all of this, all of the settings here, and give us the best optimal active sleep management that we can. Again, the other piece here is that gentle vibrate wake up alarm. So the whole mattress vibrates, not in a weird, creepy way. It's actually really, really cool. So one of the last things here we're going to do is turn on the Apple Health integration, which is important. I'm just going to turn all categories on. Now, one thing I mentioned earlier, I'm disappointed, and I would have liked to have seen more, is that the 8Sleep was writing more than just sleep data. I would like them to put in the heart rate variability, some of the temperature settings, all those. There's some other things they could have put in here, which in the future feature request, I would like to see more of that in here. So given the nature of this channel, you would think I would have done more with the smart home integration, but currently I haven't. They are integrated through If This Then That. They have some default applets set up. Remember, if you haven't already, you might want to make sure you get to the If This Then That Pro, in that you will be limited to, I think, 3 applets if you haven't signed up for the Pro. So they're changing their whole platform, which means I think we're going to see 8Sleep and others who only have an If This Then That integration doing something about that. You've also got the 8Sleep Lab for experimental features. All of that is available to you here. Really, temperature units in Fahrenheit or Celsius. Canadian, I'm going to change them to Celsius. And that's pretty much it, right? We've got the maintenance. It'll give me notifications the next time it needs to be primed, which is somewhere, I think, 2 to 3 months. So we'll see how that goes. And essentially, that's really all the deep dive. So let's get into the final thoughts.
So the big question, is the 8Sleep fitness system for you? There is a budget to deal with here. It's not an inexpensive device at $4,000 US, and really only available in the US right now. That's a question that you're going to have to answer. I can't answer that one for you. My next question for you would be, what have you already done to optimize your sleep fitness journey? If you are consciously staying up late, waking up whenever you want, drinking alcohol, not exercising, all those kinds of things, and you're having sleep issues, the 8Sleep is not going to fix that problem, right? You're going to have to get the rest of the parts of your life in order first, which I think is really important. But if you are an athlete, if you are a professional of some kind who wants to optimize your sleep for creativity, for just general life, making your life better, the 8Sleep is definitely something that can help push you into that direction, push you over where you're currently blocked. Really amazing device, and I'm a big fan. I can't wait to see what the data is going to reveal in the next 6 months to a year. And with that, review's over. What do you guys think? Is there anything I didn't answer here? Is there anything you would have liked to have heard about the 8Sleep? So follow me on Twitter at Homekitgeek, where I'm constantly talking about what I'm doing from a sleep standpoint right now. Definitely, if you'd like to hear more about this, let me know. I'm always trying to create content and stuff that really helps you guys out.